Cases of the age of 20 to 29-year-olds is up 250% since the month of May. And so we are watching very closely what is happening in our restaurants, our bars, our gatherings, especially where young people gather. And if these numbers continue to come up, number one, I would say, I am encouraging, and I have been in touch with our Commissioner of Health, to encourage our local health departments to enforce the guidelines that are currently in place. And as I said yesterday, 3 restaurants in Norfolk lost their licenses because of being non-compliant. And we will continue to be cognizant of that and enforce our guidelines. You asked what will we do? Obviously, we're in phase 3. We came from phase 2 and phase 1. In phase 1, we had gatherings of 10 or less. Phase 2 was 50. Now we're at 250. Well, if we see these numbers continue to uptick, we're going to have to make modifications, certainly in that area, and maybe in other areas as well. But the point I think we need to make to Virginia, we can do this. We know that these guidelines work, and all I ask is for Virginians to do the right thing, and most of us are, but that is to keep our distance, to wear our facial protection, wash our hands, and stay out of large gatherings. And if we do that, we can continue to keep the curve flat and I think continue to keep the positivity rate down where it should be.
Governor, President Trump says open the schools in the fall. Is he wrong?
Andy, I have said all along, we want to get our children back in schools. We want to get our scholars back into our college campuses, but we need to do it safely and responsibly. And I think the disconnect there, Andy, the mixed messaging that we're getting from Washington is that if we're going to get our kids back into school, we need to do it safely. And it's not only the children in school, it's the teachers, it's the staff that could contract this. And the point I would make is if our teachers and our staff can't stay healthy, if they contract the virus, then all is moot. So it's up to the community as we move forward. And again, I want as much as anybody, with all the families, with all the children, to get our kids back in school. But if our numbers don't stay where they are, if we can't remain in phase 3, then we're not going to be able to move forward with that.
So, Governor, you said that there's going to maybe possibly be modifications. Would you put the whole state back into phase 2, or is it something you think about maybe doing like you did Northern Virginia, putting Hampton Roads in phase 2?
Well, the first thing that we need to do, which is one of the reasons we're out here today, is when we see hot spots, is to go in and do as much testing as we can and then have an additional amount of tracers. And that's what we're doing here to try to keep those numbers under control. But, I think all options are on the table, and we'll just take this one day at a time. We'll continue to follow the numbers.